Hey, Jeff Fuller back with you. Jay Fuller Interviews on YouTube, the Facebook group, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Jay Fuller Interviews. And coming soon, the Backfire podcast on Spotify. Just search that out, the Backfire podcast on Spotify. But joining us again for part 2, we have Kenny Anderson and Ian Cunningham. Gentlemen, welcome back.
Oh, man,
Hey,
thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
And so, Mr. Chibbs, when we cut out last time, you were just talking about how your mom gave you that name referring to Cheeks, but it came out Chibbs. And I'm so excited to have Jill Campbell on Monday talking about the documentary that features you. And when you look back at that documentary, do you have any regrets telling the whole story of everything you've been through?
Nah, my mother's not living, so I don't have any regrets. If she was living, I don't think I would have done the documentary, but I just wanted to open up and let everybody know, what I was going through in my life. At the same time, playing and going to school, it's crazy. Like I was thinking, I think my junior year in high school, I had nowhere to live.
Yeah,
I had nowhere to live. So I lived with my cousin. And then my mother used to come visit me every morning before I went to school because she couldn't live in there. And I was just thinking, wow, I made it. That was just one or two little things that happened to me that I really didn't discuss, but that was crazy. And my junior year was is my best year in high school, playing basketball, schoolwork, everything. That's when I, got the score, the play at Georgia Tech, everything academically, Regents exams at Malloy. I studied hard, and I had nowhere to live. So it was crazy, man.
Yeah, Kenny, when you look back at how you grew up, I was a director of mentoring for almost 10 years, and so many of the students that we came in contact with came from very broken situations, much like you grew up in.
Yeah.
That forced you to grow up, and it did make you stronger, but knowing what you had to suffer and go through, how did you have to respond from those things that maybe you wanted to black out or not talk about for so long?
Well, I was just a young kid. I was a young star in high school, and I met my mentor, Vincent Smith, at a young age, about 9-10 years old. He really, with Kenny Smith's family and my family, he lived across in another building that I lived in. And he just pushed me, forward. I just had to do it, man. I wanted to do it, for my mother, for my mother's sake. I wanted to do it. I wanted to be something special for my mother to look at and be happy, because there was one thing in her life that made her happy, and I made her happy, and I just couldn't. I just couldn't go down the wrong path, and I could have easily went down the wrong path, but I wanted to make it. And I just used to tell Vincent Smith that every time he used to. I used to look at Kenny Smith trophies in his house, and I used to be like, I'm gonna get more trophies than him. And he said, I don't know, and I wound up with more trophies than him. But it was interesting, man. And I get emotional, talking about my mother, because she mean the world to me. And it was one of the reasons I made it, just for my mother's sake.
Yeah.
And that's what she didn't have to deal with nothing for 20 years, and, it was a blessing that I could do that for her, to help her through the NBA. The NBA has helped me a great deal as far as finances and just, knowing people and getting to know everybody in my world. And, that's one of the reasons, I met, Ian, through my documentary, and Ian has been great. His family's been great. And, just want to do the right thing for other people. That's what happened to me. It was the right people in my life helping me at a time that I needed it.
Yeah.
They could have easily took advantage of me or said anything, and I would have went for it, because I was hungry for the knowledge. Not only the knowledge, but I was hungry to do something. And I did positive. And every aspect of the word basketball is easy. Life is hard. I played basketball my entire life, and it did well for me.
Yeah.
But life has been difficult for me. Life has been high school, college, pro. I've had that opportunity to live on that stage my whole entire life, and now it's time for other people to live off my stage off the young. If I can help them help themselves, and then that's what me and Ian are trying to do. Push forward with with the Kenny Anderson Showcase, not just basketball, but just life in general.
Well, and that's why I want to bring in Ian. That's a perfect segue, Mr. Chibbs. Is Ian, you were saying before off air about how many kids you've been able to help and have be a part of the showcase. Could you just share some of those numbers? How many colleges, how many students have you been able to attract and get a part of that showcase, Ian?
Yeah, so the first year we had 38 kids attend, and we had 6 college coaches in attendance. And out of all those 38 kids, 3 kids were actually offered. We actually got 4 kids from the first showcase scholarships. Some partial. When I say scholarships, not full, but where they couldn't go to school, was able to help them, and then a lot of interest. And then this coming year that we just had, we had 51 kids come to the showcase, 13 college coaches come, and we had 11 offers so far as of right now, 4 scholarships from the showcase. So when you look at that, that's 8 kids that have actually gone to college off of our Kenny Anderson Showcase. That kids have gotten some type of connection with a coach. But the offers, like I said, we're almost at we're almost at 15 offers. Right, that's pretty amazing off of a second year, So I want to just piggyback off of what Kenny was saying about wanting to help people and being in a he uses basketball to help people. I have a passion. I was a juvenile correction officer for the state of Ohio, working with some bad kids that really needed some help, and just nothing happens by accident, through the power of God. That Kenny's basketball career, his movie, me working with kids that needed help, me watching a documentary, nothing's meant for accident. And in today's society, more so than ever, we need people to stand up, speak out, defend the people that are the ones that can't have anybody speaking for them. And so not every kid at the showcase is that kid, but we try to find certain kids that need that voice, that maybe not have that voice for them. And so that's really why I started, and approached Kenny with the showcase, because Kenny, he's been at the top, he's been famous, all that. He's got a different, mindset, but he's now coming back down to reality where he's coaching at a small school, and he's seen the big school. Now he's at the small school. So he's able to help those kids that I'm trying to attract, the kids that need the help. And that's where I think Kenny and I really mesh well together, because he just wants to give back. I just want to give back. I always say real is rare. It's hard to find a person that's real in life, not connected with so many real people because of Mr. Chibbs. And the documentary is really just connected some positive, impactful lives. We got coaches like Coach Payne from Twitter, tweets by Coach P. We got coaches from all kind of colleges that have, really got on board and try to push this thing. It's truly been a blessing to be able to just say we're doing something, and we're doing something for free. That's another thing I don't think we talk about enough, is that we don't. We want to do it for free. We're not out trying to make $1 off these kids. We're giving them free bags, free shirts, free food, free exposure, free training. Everything is happening for free. And we have sponsors. I know I named them the first time, but it doesn't happen just by me. It doesn't happen. It's a team involvement of trying to just give back to society.
Yeah, that's so good.
When we was doing this, the showcase, Ian, he said, "Hey, let's do this for free," and I said, "Why not?" And it's been awesome, man. It's going into our 3rd year. We did it this year, and with everything that's going around in the world, with the coronavirus and everything, we still got it done. We have more kids. It was the first time basketball was allowed in Cleveland. Yeah. It was just so much. It was just so much joy, on the youth's face, and I saw it. And each year we're going to get bigger and bigger, because that's what we love to do, and that's what it's all about.
That's so good, and I'm excited to be a part and just be introduced to you guys. Kenny, here's a picture behind me of you coaching in the showcase or for the showcase. Now you're the coach at Fisk University. Having this opportunity to coach at a high level, sometimes it's not as much about the X's and O's as it is about really pouring into these kids. Your experience, you get to share so much. Do you have a story or two of what you've been able to share to some of your players about real life, not just basketball?
Well, I preach to my players a little bit too much, I think, about just living the right way, and what all my ups and downs, through life, playing in the NBA. I tell them stories, NBA stories, college stories, high school stories. I try to use that, to get those guys motivated, and I have sometimes. And sometimes I haven't, and I understand that. I understand how the youth, the kids, the young kids, sometimes you got to know when to talk and know when to shut up, like that they had enough. And, I'm learning that, but I'm also concerned with what are they doing, after the game? Are you living the right way? Are you some of these kids they're coming from single parent homes like I did, and it's just rough, but they're very smart kids that comes to Fisk. And, and I'm just trying to be here and build up the basketball program. And, I only been here 2 years, and I feel I have to change. I have to change the focus of Fisk basketball.
Sure.
And when I could do that, I'll be more happy. And I need to change it, with Ian, what we believe in, and that's believing in them so they can help themselves, not help me, help themselves.
Right. Kenny, that's so good. Go ahead, Ian.
Go ahead. I wanted to just jump on something too. Another huge part of, I think, the inspiration that what my wife Bianca and I turned to at watching the documentary, where what Kenny talked about. I guarantee there's young boys, young men that have gone through a certain situation where they felt uncomfortable and they don't feel they can talk to somebody about. And I want you to watch the documentary. I want Kenny to feel comfortable to talk, but there's so many things that happen in young men's lives, young girls, young men, whatever, that they feel uncomfortable about telling somebody about.
Yeah.
And I think that was another main thing that I really connected with Kenny, that you're already, a college coach. You already played in the NBA. You're an all-star. You're a Hall of Fame. Your jersey's in the Hall of Fame. So many kids that are just the average regular kid are going to be scared to talk about things that happen in their life.
Right.
If they can feel that it's okay to bring up something that is not right, that someone did to them that hurt them or invaded their privacy, I think Kenny's message with that alone can be inspirational to thousands and thousands of young men that have gone through something so traumatic. And that was a thing that I think that people need to touch on more, because Kenny's he's been through the good and the bad. He's seen all, and that's not talked about. And that's huge, because there's so many kids going through things that are scared to bring that up, scared to let somebody know that they're hurt. There's so many kids with this pandemic, with schools, a lot of kids want to get out of the house because they're getting tortured, not eating, not being taken care of, being molested. There's so many kids that don't have good parents. They're single parents, or having, families that just takes advantage of them, aunts and uncles. Kenny can be used in such a powerful way through God that needs to be talked about at times. And I think that's what I want. I want to be something that is embraced, that he's a man enough to talk about what has helped him, come through in life.
So Kenny, number 12, Molloy High School. Did you feel as though you were hiding behind a mask? Was basketball your sanctuary, your safe place, knowing what you had to endure, but that was a place where you could get away with your high school coach that was so influential on your life?
Oh, yes. Molloy was a different world for me. I know how a lot of high school players, think of their high schools. Maybe they think, oh, okay, it's just an opportunity. I'm gonna go to this high. But my high school meant more than that to me. It was, Brother Terrence, who passed away, was my math teacher. He passed away when I was at Molloy. Miss Longerano, my math teacher, who I got an 86 on the Regents exam because of her. Miss Lonigan, who just passed away. It's just so many teachers at my high school that taught me how to believe in myself.
Oh, so good.
It's just, I just get all, when I talk about my high school, man, I just get all emotional because my high school meant the world to me, and everybody knows that. Basketball, that was just a part of it.
Yeah.
But I just love going to my high school every morning, 7:30 in the morning, and leaving there at 9 at night and sleep. I had to, doing my homework in the library and going home into the hood and to sleep and wake up and do that. I did it.
And it was a 20-minute drive each way.
Yeah, train. I used to take the train. I loved it. I used to take the train. I love my high school. My high school means the world to me. So it's a little different. And then I went to Georgia Tech and boom, fell in love with that. It was just basketball. I was like, man, is this life? You know, basketball was so great to me. I can't even thank enough about, you know, my fans, the people that cared about me, about basketball. It was just great. Yeah. But I just had to deal with the regular ordeal of life, and I had to deal with it. And that thing that happened to me when I was young. Yeah. And then I threw it in the closet because I was getting so much popularity. Yeah. I threw it in the closet, and then when my mother passed away, though, I could just let go. Yeah. And I let go of myself, and I had to tell, you know, what was going on in my life, and I did it.
It's so important that you exhaled, and I wish more kids would do that, and you did that so well. And it's not just a piece of leather filled with air, but it's the opportunity basketball gives and the people that we meet. A basketball question for you. Number 12, Kenny, why did you pick number 12?
Number 12, when I picked it, you know, I played with Riverside Church. I just picked 12 in high school, but I wanted number 7. You know, when I started realizing, you know, who was number 7, Tiny Archibald is a big guy, you know, to my heart. You know, he played for the Boston Celtics. Sure. On his way out, he played for the Boston Celtics. Yeah. But he was a great player. I think he's from the Bronx. He coached me in the Boston Shootout, and he played in the lead, and he led the lead in scoring and assists. Yeah, it won't happen again. It won't happen again. And he was a phenomenal player. And I wanted 7, but I got 12. And 12 stuck with me until I made it to the NBA. And that's why I went. I went to 7 because 12, you know, when I played for New Jersey Nets, you know, Tate George, I tell a true story, you know, in the league, they make you pay for these. If somebody got the number, you want the number, you got to pay. And Tate George took the number 12 and he wanted me to pay for it. And I was like, nah, I'm not paying for it. I'm not paying for it. So I went with 7. I went with Tiny Archibald's number 7. But now that's the only reason.
I got to ask you this basketball question, and I would say you are a much better player than Tate George, even though he had that huge shot for UConn. But when you shook Bobby Hurley, was that just all the hours of ball handling practice, or was that something you sized him up as you were coming down the court and you knew you were going to do something special?
I don't know. I just played off instinct. Me and Bobby, we played high school ball together. We went to St. Anthony's, played for his father. We were just going at it, you know, and that was the first time, you know, we played against each other. And Bob Hurley is a great individual. He played in the NBA, and now he's coaching at Arizona State University. He's a hell of a coach. He's a great guy. And that something went over me that game because it was Duke more than Bob Hurley. It was like, I got to beat these guys because they was always stacked. They was always winning the division, and I wanted to do something special. And that game, I was just on one. I had a big-time game against Duke. It was awesome.
Oh, that was special. I remember watching it live, and that was something phenomenal for me as a high school kid, just watching you do your thing. Yeah. Hey, so you've gone through a lot, been through a lot. You suffered a stroke recently, and we just continue to pray for your recovery. Can you just talk about how adversity continues to seemingly find you, but how you're growing as a man from that?
Yeah. Oh man, it's just I don't really like talking about it. You know, my stroke. I had a stroke. My wife has helped me a great deal. Natasha, she's been great for me. And then I met Ian as soon as I got out of the hospital. I met him. I don't even remember the time we met. And
We actually met before the. Yeah, we met
we
before
met
it actually.
before. We met before, and then I came the first year. I came down and did
After.
a showcase. But he was amazed because I was able to talk.
Yeah.
I was able to talk. I've always been able to talk, but just put everything in words, right after another, one after another. I really wasn't, and it was just a trying time for me. But
Sure.
I had my wife. My wife was really there for me. She really helped me through everything and got me through it. And I'm good. I don't my hands, my arms. I can walk. I can. It's just my memory. My
Yeah.
memory did some damage to my memory. And if that's the worst thing, thank God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll get over that. But I just thank Ian a great deal, for always, being in my corner, being a good friend. And Ian is not a friend of Kenny Anderson because of basketball.
Yeah.
He don't know me as a basketball player. He like Mark Price, and I don't like that. I don't like that. But nah, Mark Price. The only reason I like it because he went to Georgia Tech.
Right.
That's the only reason I like it. He went to Georgia Tech. So Mark Price, he's a great guy. That's the only reason. But no, but me and Ian we are great friends, and I love him, man. I love him, and I love his family, and I just thank God of my stroke that I'm able to live everyday life,
Yeah.
and that's so I don't know what to say about that, about getting into my health. I don't really like it, but
Sure.
it is what it is, man.
Ian, I want to bring you in, and we have Jill Campbell coming in on Monday talking about this documentary. And for those that missed part one, you watched this documentary, then you felt compelled to connect with Kenny. And then after you did so, you started the Kenny Anderson Showcase. So for those that missed part one, they could go back and listen to that. But Ian, for you, just having the opportunity to share Kenny's story, but also to help kids along the way. Talk to me about this journey. I imagine it's more than you ever thought or dreamed it would be. Talk about the success that you've had with the Kenny Anderson Showcase.
Oh, it's been everything and more. I actually reached out, like I said, I talked to Kenny. We were leading up, talking a lot through text and stuff like that before he had his stroke. And then actually when he had his stroke, I was communicating. I even communicated with Jill Campbell. I reached out to her, and she was talking to me and telling me his, how he's recovering and things like that. What we're able to do is bigger than basketball. What we're able to do, like I said, this year, we were able to bring former NBA player Smooch Parker, who had the struggles of life and struggles, and he's a Christian. He actually goes, attends the church that a pastor that I really get a lot of inspiration from. And he was able to give such a motivational speech to the young men this year. That's why I say we're being able to connect so many different lives. And in the documentary, Mr. Chibbs, it's changed my life, and it's helped me with my family. It's helped me with my wife. It's helped me with my kids. Kenny and I talk every day. He gives me a lot of inspirational words. I think I can hopefully tell him some stuff, and it's been a truly blessing, not only for helping young men, but for helping my family and my life, which I never thought that would happen. I never thought that I'd be talking to Kenny, every day about stuff in my life that, he can give me advice on, and vice versa. And so, it goes, like I said, beyond basketball, and to be able to think that it all came from a documentary film that just inspired me to do something for kids. You could probably write a movie about that, because it's changed so much of my life. And so I go every day I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. I'm looking for kids that I think I can help, the kids that might be the next kid that we can invite to the showcase. We had 147 nominations last year. The first year we struggled to get. I was really pulling. I got 38 kids to come. This past year we had 147. We took 51. We were supposed to have 52. One kid got sick. I've already got like 50 nominations, and it's not till May next year. So we're really just trying to make it a difference, and just being able to, who would think I'd be on a podcast talking to you about, about God, about basketball, about life, about my family, about our friendship. It's just, if you really think about the big picture, life is amazing. Life is amazing.
Hey, Kenny, so I have to ask you, was it refreshing for you to have Ian coming to you without any basketball knowledge? For me, I have all these stories that I want to ask you about with Derek Coleman, with playing at Georgia Tech, with being with the Nets, Celtics, all that. But having Ian come to you just pure of heart, he's not a basketball guy, he's a soccer guy, and just wanting to highlight you. What did that mean to you?
It meant great. It's great when a guy, a friend, a true friend, say, I know about your basketball, but we don't want to talk about basketball. We want to talk about other things in your life. And that's what I needed at the time. And moving forward, that's what I'm about. If you know me, you that's fine. But, but basketball, that's my heart. But, just true living and living the right way. And we talk about the politics that I'm not really big on, and I'm getting better with it. So I talk with Ian about politics, and we I struggle with it. I'm trying to learn it. I don't know much with that, but I'm getting new to it because of Ian, and certain things that it, because, all in all, I had it, for 14 years, right. 14 years old. I was always Kenny Anderson, the basketball player. From 14 years old, I was always that guy. And then when I retired, it's more to it now. It's more to about life, more to about these young kids I'm trying to teach. So I'm just trying to touch everything and learn myself. And Ian does a great job teaching me that.
And one other quick thing, what I think is kind of refreshing to hear that Kenny will tell you, like, with the Black Lives Matter, it's a lifestyle. I always say it's not a movement. And I got that from LeBron James, actually. He said, Black Lives Matter is not a movement, it's a lifestyle. And one thing I really thought was refreshing for Kenny, where he opened up and said, I'm Kenny Anderson. I might not go through the same thing another guy goes through, but with his marriage, with my marriage, we see stuff that maybe someone wouldn't feel. And Kenny, being a black man, might go through some stuff now that he's older that people might not recognize him the same as they did. Me getting to be a white man and listening to what goes on, where people think they can freely say certain things to me, and I'm like, wow, are you serious? And then my wife coming home telling me it's kind of refreshing to know that we can talk about, like they said, the real life issues in life, and try to see if we can change and make some type of impact where we are in our little circle, and then the circle grows and grows and grows, and that's why think we can keep doing things like this to try to broaden our horizon and try to impact as many people as we can. We can't change the world, but we can help change the world.
Well, that's a fact. And Kenny, I got to ask you, because we just dropped off my son, oldest. He's 18. He's a freshman in college now, and it was so hard leaving him.
What school he goes to?
He's actually going to school in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He's going to go 2 years and hopes to transfer out, and so I'm excited about that. But in this day and age where he's growing up as a man, but he's still 18, and I know you just dropped off your son at college. We're trying to teach them these things. What hopes and dreams do you have for your kids so that they don't have to fight the same struggle that we're talking about right now?
You just got to be honest with them and let them know. And I think that's what you got to do. And my son is great. I dropped him off also about 2 weeks ago. And he's at junior college. He didn't want to come to FIS and play with his father. So that was great. And, that was great. He wants to try his skill level on the Division I level. And I said, that's great. And I'm behind him 110%. And he's not going to be, I don't want him to be like me. I want him to be better than me. And that's where you got to just always jabbing them, giving them questions and talking to them and just leaving them alone. I said, when you go up to the school, you go and work, man. You don't ask for nothing. You work. You work extremely hard. You work at school. You work on the court. And that's that, and if it happens for you, it happens. But if not, so be it. But you can look in the mirror and say, hey, I gave it my all. Things just didn't work out for me. And we can start something else in life. but he wants to play basketball. He's extremely he's going to play ball, and that's what he's doing right now. So I'm happy for him, and he's happy. So I'm happy.
So that's my son. He may transfer to Cornerstone University in Grand Rapids, which is an NAIA powerhouse, and that'd be awesome to see you guys tag and play against each other someday. But a couple basketball questions, then I'll get you out, Kenny. I remember watching a Rising Stars NBA video, and it had you and Derek Coleman when you were with the Nets. Can you just talk about how much fun that was to play with DC, to play in the NBA those first couple years? Were you shell-shocked, or was it just a dream come true?
It was a dream come true, and to this day I tell everybody, Derek Coleman is the best player I ever played with in my life. He's the best player. He's 6'10", with my ball handling skills, my passes, everything at 6'10". He was an awesome player. He's an awesome human being also, and playing with him and Drazen Petrovic with the New Jersey Nets, and a time of the NBA with Michael Jordan, Mark Price, Doherty, Big Doherty was there. Yeah. Cleveland was tough. The New York Knicks with Ron Harper. No, excuse me, with Oakley, Ewing, Starks, and them guys. It was just the East was tough. East was tough, and it was just tough. It was hand checking. It was a little more rougher than the rules now. Yeah. And now the game has changed with the 3-point shot and things of that nature. But when we played in the league, it was tough.
And Kenny, I got to ask you, because the NBA bubble playoffs are taking place now. Being here in Vermont, I'm a big Celtics fan, and so I love Jaylen Brown. Tatum's awesome, but I do love Jaylen Brown, how he closes. I know, Ian, driving you nuts because your Cavs, well, they aren't doing very well this year. But when you look at these NBA playoffs, Kenny, who do you like in the East?
Come on, man. You asked me that question. Come on. I'm going Celtics, baby. Celtics all the way in the East, baby. That's my team. So I always give the love. I play for the Celtics, Blazers, and New Jersey Nets. Those are the three teams that get all my love. But I'm going with Boston in the East. They'll have a nice little, a tougher run because Haywood is out now. Right. But they got Toronto in the next round. We'll beat them. And I'm saying we'll beat them, and it's going 6. And we'll beat them. I'm really with Tatum, Smart. Smart is awesome. Jaylen Brown. We got a good team. I just worry about our inside play, our bigs. Yeah. But now the game has changed. Right. It's more like 3-pointers and jump shots, and you got those 2 players on the perimeter, Jaylen Brown and Tatum, and then you got Smart playing defense. That's a great team.
Oh, for sure. Then if Kemba's healthy, I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah. Excuse me. Wait, a New Yorker, Kemba Walker. Hey, I forgot. I didn't even say Kemba Walker. I forgot Kemba Walker.
It's all right.
That's my man. He's from New York. We got this. We got a team. If we don't win this year, we're up. We're going to win it the next year, the following year, at least in 2 years. If we don't win it this year, I'm telling you.
Go ahead, Ian.
I just want to say there's a small piece of me that wants Boston to win. Kenny made a gentleman's bet with my son. Yeah. And if wins it all, my son has to cut the front yard and the backyard.
Ian, by himself. By himself, don't help him. And if I lose, I gotta buy a game. 2K. Right. I one of those games, whatever game he wants, I gotta buy it.
So I'm kind of going for Boston.
Okay. Kenny, I have one last basketball question for you. That's playing in the bubble. It seems to be like a huge AAU tournament, but I imagine it would get overwhelming being in one place for multiple months, up to 3 months if you win the championship. How would you have done playing in a bubble environment?
You know what? That's interesting because I don't know. You leave from the lead concept, and then all of a sudden the bubble. I'm not sure. I'll probably be sneaking out at night, wanting to go hang out or whatever. When I was in the league, it'd be tough for me. But as I got older, if I played in the league older, I might have been stuck and just dealt with it and just doing a lot more I would have been reading a lot more now and doing a lot more things. You change with your age bracket. Now I really believe this. You change, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not sure how I would be able to handle it. But Adam Silver, he's doing a great job, you know, with the bubble and the players. None of them contest coronavirus. Right. Everybody's been great with that. The NBA is great, man. They always find a way to do great positive things in life. They do.
Yeah, they really do. Ian, one last question for you. Then Kenny, I have one more for you. But Ian, for you, Kenny Anderson Showcase, 3rd year coming up in May. Having the opportunity not just to get to know Kenny Anderson, but to really become a friend of his. When you just look back over the last couple of years, what can you say about this relationship, this open door that God's given to you to have with Kenny? I
say you get a brother from another mother. Like, I believe that we're family, and just to be able to have somebody that I'm friends with, that you know, like I said, it's bigger than basketball. It's life. It's been everything. And so at the end of the day, it's helped me. It's helped my friend, you know, my family, and we're giving back to kids. So, you know, it's just been a blessing. But I wanted you to ask Kenny what you asked me, the questions, because I want to switch my who played my wife too. But okay. I want to make sure you ask Kenny that, because I want to hear his answers as well. But my picture's frozen. I don't know if it's on yours as well, but I'm changing it from Scary Spice to Nia Long. Okay.
All right. So we hear you. Okay. So here's the deal, Kenny. If first question is, if you were featured in a fictional movie, would you want to play the hero or the villain? Fictional movie. Do you want to play the hero or the villain?
Oh, wow. I'm not sure. I would say the villain.
Yeah, that's what I say. That's what I say. And
I say the villain.
I think for me being a pastor, if it's fictional, I think I'd want to play the villain, because, you know, you get to be, well, that dark side. Hey, the second part, Kenny, if or when, not the documentary, but when the feature film comes out about your life and you can't play yourself, which actor do you want to play you?
Oh, wow.
And
I would say, and this is one of my good friends, and I hope we would, you know, could talk, you know, soon and rehash or whatever we hash. Omar Epps would be great for me.
Yeah.
Omar Epps, he's a good friend of mine and everything. And I wish, you know, we could, you know, hash. I don't know what happened, you know, along the way, you know, with our friendship, but he's a great human being, and Omar Epps will play me. I would love that.
That's awesome. And hopefully you guys can reconnect after this. I always say The Rock, because I think Dwayne Johnson, not that we look anything alike, but somebody told me Kevin Hart might look more like me than The Rock. But the second part to that question is, who plays your love interest in that movie?
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
For me personally, I would say Halle Berry, which gets my wife crazy and she just shakes her head. But in that feature film where Omar Epps plays you, who plays your love interest in that feature film?
My wife, I forgot her name, but I had a crush on her. See, this is when it comes back. Uma
Thurman.
Yes.
There you go.
Ooh. Wow, that's a good one.
I had and my wife knows this. I crush on her for many, 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 many years.
Oh,
Uma Thurman. Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Hey guys, thank you so much. I'm thrilled to have you on. I'm glad it worked out for part 2. Kenny, we continue to pray for you as you go on vacation, and get some rest and enjoy the time. Ian, you're the man. Thanks for reaching out to Kenny, to me, but just helping these young kids just find their way. The Kenny Anderson Showcase. Make sure you all check that out. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, man. Thank you.
And again, Kenny Anderson, Ian Cunningham, making some time for Jay Fuller Interviews. Jay Fuller Interviews on YouTube, the Facebook group, Instagram, and Twitter, and on Spotify as the Backfire Podcast. Make sure you check that out, the Backfire Podcast on Spotify. We're going to be back with more again on Monday. We have Jill Campbell. She directed and produced Mr. Chips, a documentary that you can find on Amazon Prime. With that, we're out. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks so much. Take care. Enjoy the weekend, everybody.